Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for not coming to the courtroom. After spending my entire career urging courts to be more open and accessible, and of helping people to get their day in court, limiting access to courts is something I never thought would be on my agenda. But it is. Michigan courts must act to help meet the challenge of this truly profound public health crisis. That's why my colleagues and I on the Michigan Supreme Court unanimously approved an order that provides the authority and the direction for the courts of our state to take every measure necessary to protect the public. Our courts are going to be part of the solution, not the problem. The message of this unprecedented order is simple. Emergency action to protect the public shall take precedence over normal operating procedures. I'm proud that our state judiciary has already begun to take such action, but present circumstances require continued vigilance. We will continue to work to protect the public while ensuring fairness to those involved in judicial proceedings. I encourage you to look at the specific order on our website, www.courts.mi.gov. Business will not be as usual in our courts, but our courts will remain open for emergencies. People still need to be able to be protected from danger, including resolving disputes related to this particular crisis. The order specifically directs judges to adjourn routine business. That can happen later, to use technology as much as possible to conduct business, and to coordinate with their local probation departments to make sure people have the discretion to report virtually or by phone. That trial courts should, wherever possible, waive strict adherence to rules and policies and procedural time requirements. That trial courts should take every measure possible to protect the public from risk. And if court buildings are closing, trial courts will notify the Supreme Court Administrative Office about how emergency matters can be handled in every jurisdiction. Everything in the order is consistent with our duty to provide essential court services, protect public safety, and remain accessible as possible to the public. We want to thank the judges and court staff around the state who are stepping up to meet this challenge. And thank you to the public for your patience and your cooperation during this emergency. Yesterday, I was on the phone with my dad, who's 80 years old and has bladder cancer. He is at risk, like many of our parents and our neighbors. For his sake and for all of our sake, we ask the public to be patient with us and for our courts to do everything we can to be part of the solution. Families across Michigan are home today, away from work, and with their children. The Michigan Supreme Court wants you to know that we have one goal in mind, and that's for you to be safe. Thank you very much. We had one question come in from MERS. Actually, two questions. The first was, what are Michigan Supreme Court employees being told or advised? And the answer to that question is, like every other employer in the state, we're working this out hour by hour. We have as many folks working remotely as can work remotely while still making sure that the court's business can continue to be done. The second question from MERS was about the justices and how we are getting our work done. And as you're aware, we can do a lot of our work remotely and in isolation. We do a lot of reading and writing, and we can continue to do that like normal. We will probably hold our conferences by phone instead of in person, because it is important that we are doing everything we can, like everyone else, to be responsible during this particular crisis. But the court's business, the Michigan Supreme Court's business, can continue to get done, and it will continue to get done. The order specifically asks trial judges to focus on the in-custody criminal defendants, and that is one area where adjournments are probably not appropriate. Having said that, we are not in a position right now to call citizens in for jury duty in big groups. It's not responsible.
What other kind of things constitute emergencies that the courts would need to deal with?
If somebody needs a personal protection order, our courthouse doors have to be open to protect victims of domestic violence. That's one example. There are other emergency matters that the courts will continue to be available to hear. That's important. Public safety. Courthouses throughout the state are making independent decisions, and as you're probably aware, some of them are decisions that the county is making in conjunction with the chief judges in those locations. If the court sits in a building that's operated by the county and the county closes the building, the court is going to have to figure out how to get emergency business done, and custodial hearings like the one you asked about are going to be one of those challenges for the trial courts. Any other questions come in online? Thank you very much.